This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. So, are we ready to move on?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Let's.
What other movie was there? I don't know. Was there another movie? We already talked about Suicide Squad. What the fuck is this?
I'm talking about the Suicide Squad.
But there's not a "the" in the title. What is this?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Oh.
So, Task Force X is back at it again.
Ooh.
They're at the Belle Reve Penitentiary, and they're sent to South America, the nation of Corto Maltese. I actually had to write that down because I knew I wouldn't remember it.
Fictional country. My daughter actually looked that up because I did.
Oh.
Totally fictional.
Okay. I figured.
Yeah. They do crazy stuff to it.
Yeah, the government is being overthrown by an anti-American regime, so intelligence office contact Miss Waller to send her Suicide Squad out, and are tasked with destroying Jotunheim, a Nazi-era laboratory that holds secretive experiments known as Project Starfish.
Getting right into
so, yeah, so the team that is leading it this time, the attack, is, of course, Rick Flag's back, and, he's actually far improved from the first film. Highly believable. It's the same Rick Flag. We're not looking at a reboot or a retake or a restart or whatever they're terming. There was also a Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, and Nane, I believe. I'm saying that right.
It's King Shark.
They enter the country undetected. Yeah. They enter the country undetected, and they're fine. Now, for the other team,
well, that's one thing I totally want to talk about. How they kind of they almost troll the editing of the first one. How that one's almost like there's two introduction scenes and they're just kind of sloppily mixed together. This movie literally has two introduction scenes too, except we have the first introduction takes place in over a couple minutes. We get our seemingly core team. We get Savant, we get TDK, we get Rick Flag, we get Captain Boomerang's back. We get I'm trying to remember, Javelin. Harley Quinn pops. Harley Quinn's like the Katana, where she just kind of pops in at the last minute. Hey, what's up, guys?
Weasel.
Weasel, yes, Weasel. Blackguard. Blackguard. Come on, Pete Davidson carried this movie, man. But we get this team, and then they go, and they get fucking slaughtered. Oh my god.
Fucking heinously murdered.
Oh my god.
Before the credits even stop rolling.
And I love how Waller's team, they're obviously just sending these guys out because they drop them in the water and they never even bother to check to see if Weasel can fucking swim. And he fucking drowns, so it's he's dead instantly before anything fucking happens.
Yeah, it's did anyone find out if he could swim?
Yeah, nobody looked that up. Great. I think, and then Pete Davidson, he gets his face blown off very quickly.
Quickly.
Nobody was really upset about that. I know he was a deep character. One thing I want to add before we get to how these characters died is that when they're going to the point, we actually get these plane conversations, very Predator-esque, where we're getting to learn about their characters. We actually spend some time establishing these characters before they get slaughtered, which is more than I would say for a lot of the characters in 2016.
Yeah.
It's, but I kind of love the bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
But
Captain Boomerang dies by a giant propeller.
Yes. Yes, Captain Boomerang was, of course, the big, we're gonna bring back somebody just to prove we're willing to kill off people.
Proving that you like this character.
Yeah.
Cool.
The only characters who survive this massacre are, of course, Harley, because it's fucking Harley. Why would she die? And Rick Flag. And then it's not confirmed, because last I saw TDK was alive and writhing in pain. However, I don't see them bringing him back, but always to my experience with comic book stuff, if he's not confirmed kill, he's alive. So they'll bring him back in 20 years. Who knows?
Yeah, Peacemaker is also part of that. Bloodsport.
Yeah, we're talking about Team 2 now. Yes.
Oh, Team 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you get to the second set of introductions after these guys are almost dead, and we get to meet Bloodsport. Fun fact about Bloodsport: he is a rewritten Deadshot, almost certainly. They did modify him to be a bit more like Bloodsport, though. I didn't see anything about Bloodsport having a daughter. Now, they did rewrite that relationship, so it wasn't so obvious, though.
I didn't hear any mention. I can't recall a mention of it.
But what they did incorporate was the fact that he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, which is his most famous accomplishment from the comic book.
Yep.
So, he's kind of a mix of comic book Bloodsport and Deadshot from the other movie. It's kind of clear that he was intended to be Deadshot. I think it almost kind of works that it's not Deadshot, because if you knew Deadshot was returning and he's not in that original group, you're like, okay, we're missing people. Obviously, this isn't it. And I kind of like how the original group's almost like, here's a whole bunch of characters and they all get slaughtered. And it's and you're not even really thinking about, wait, who's missing? Because it's all new characters that are missing. All new.
Yeah, it's hard for you to tell who's who.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See, aside from Bloodsport, we also have Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, and Nane.
Yeah, one of the best jokes is Amanda Waller explaining, all you guys are chosen for your unique abilities. Bloodsport, who was raised by his father to be a killer and can turn anything into a weapon. And Peacemaker, who was raised by his father to be a killer and can turn anything into a weapon. Bloodsport instantly points out, wait. Did you just say my origin?
I want to say one thing real quickly about Peacemaker, and it's more like John Cena who played him. Fucking was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Cena knocked it out of the park.
There's a lot of acting in wrestling, so I don't want to be like that. I'm not usually thrilled with the wrestlers that turn major actor. He's probably doing it more fluidly. I guess he's not getting as big roles as The Rock. The Rock had a very Rock had a rocky period starting out. Ugh.
Well, yeah, and now he has he made the Scorpion King, and it's kind of hard to you kind of got to pay a lot of dues to get past something like as a catastrophe like that.
Yeah,
but I think now that he's doing, and he's kind of stretching out his range as an actor. Mm-hmm. He's getting those bigger parts, but there was a while where it was a lot of family-friendly, straight-to-DVDs, a lot of kid-friendly movies. I feel that there's a few standout performances during that starting period. Him and Be Cool, I thought that was a standout, as he played a security guard who was living in Los Angeles, working for some bad music producer guys, but he secretly wanted to be a model. And he was also very gay.
For someone who really liked Get Shorty, I've not seen Be Cool.
It's not bad. It's no Get Shorty, but it's not bad.
Yeah. But maybe I haven't paid as close attention to his career, but John Cena seems to have
that one,
flowed.
But he's also been doing a lot more of those group, supporting cast, or not supporting cast, but I guess big group cast with the Jumanji.
Mm-hmm. But, did you cut out? Oh, yes.
But yeah,
okay,
I mean,
there you are. Okay, you cut out for a second. All right.
Yeah, it did cut out. But yeah, with wrestlers breaking onto the main screen, or into movies, is not really something old.
No,
it's been going on since the early days of professional wrestling. I mean, the first that comes to mind is like, Captain Lou Albano appearing in all those Cyndi Lauper music videos.
Yeah. I didn't
because
know about
Cyndi
that
Lauper
one.
was also, she was a huge wrestling fan, and she even appeared at, I think it was WrestleMania 3 as like a valet for Captain Lou Albano.
No. Well,
and of course, there's a Bonesaw, Randy the Macho Man Savage in the Spider-Man movie. And there's one other one. I can't remember who.
Well, someone who I was surprised never took off because I thought he did a good job in this movie. Rowdy Piper. After They Live.
Thank you.
How did he not take off after They Live? Because it wasn't a brilliant performance, but he was good. Why?
He was great.
Why didn't he get more after that? Why didn't he?
I don't know. He did have a lot of other roles too. But they were mostly straight to video, straight to home release.
Yeah, he can't all be John Carpenter, I guess.
Well, They Live is such a fucking masterpiece.
And that's kind of one of those stealth John Carpenter movies too, unfortunately. God, he has too many classics, unfortunately. I think that's the issue if They Live.
Yeah, that is. It is one that is often overlooked as most people will just fixate with Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween, The Thing. He has classics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember who. Hulk Hogan, who starred in the blockbuster Hollywood record-smashing film Suburban Commando.
Okay, yeah, I was like, it's Suburban something.
Where Christopher Lloyd delivered the greatest line ever recorded to film.
Oh, yeah,
I was frozen today.
Yeah, I can't. I was frozen today. I can't.
You should put a clip of that in right after I say the greatest line.
It is perhaps the best line delivery of all time with that.
Of all time.
Oh my.
You're the one who's put them in danger. All these guys want is you. Christ! I was frozen today.
But yeah, the wrestlers can actually do good, and I've seen Cena in some stuff before, and a lot of it was kind of I could tell he was typecast, just kind of playing the macho. Okay, guys.
Well, and
that's it.
He's kind of rolling into the acting thing more smoothly than I think a lot of them honestly do. It's just working. Like when he's on screen, he has a presence.
Well, yeah, and you are right. There is a certain amount of acting that does go with professional wrestling.
Oh yeah.
If I could just kind of diverge and talk about wrestling a little bit.
Okay.
With that, there's like two different types of wrestlers. There's baby faces who are obviously the good guys, and the bad guys are heels. Heels are meant to rile up the crowd. Like if we were with if I was a pro wrestler and I was a heel, and let's say that we were in Texas. I would go out there and say the classics. There's only two things that come from Texas, and I don't see any horns out here. Rile the crowd up, get heat or get them feeling into the show, making them angry. So that way, when the hero, who let's just say another wrestler is a baby face, and he is from Texas, he comes out not liking me saying stuff. That whole crowd wants to see that guy rip me apart. That's like causing heat. And Cena, I've seen him play heat for both sides of that, and he's really great at it.
Yeah.
He is really great. I've seen him kind of drop his character in stage on live television to the other wrestler and watch it throw the other wrestler completely off. But Cena just doesn't miss a beat, and he is just on point. And that's a skill that's not easy. I mean, I always say it takes a lot of talent, not only to put your body on the line every night, but it takes a lot of talent to walk into an arena full of people with a microphone and have every single one of them hate you.
Well, jump to in our movie here. Have you seen the Mickey Rourke movie, The Wrestler?
Oh, yes.
What I loved about that is it kind of showed, is it fake? Kinda. Yeah, they plan it out beforehand, but it's almost like a violent dance that they're doing out there, and they're like stuntmen, essentially. They're like...
Yeah, they are. Sometimes I know that there's a few performers, like a few wrestlers, I've heard them talk on podcasts before, and I've heard a few of them actually say that some of them, they'll plan it or just call it while they're in the ring as they're going. And there's other guys who have worked with each other so many times that they could have an entire match, a great match, and not say 2 words to each other.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Yeah, it's like if you know how the other guy moves, you can just roll with it. You can pick up their body language and know what to do. Know if they're know if you're actually pushing it too far, or know if you're fine and stuff like that. No.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still like, they sacrifice their bodies. I got nothing but respect for that.
No, it's one of those things. Obviously you're the wrestling guy. I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
But there is an art to it that I do appreciate the artistry to it. It's these guys are essentially stuntmen, and like people, like when people say, "Oh, it's fake." Yeah. Don't trivialize it though. There's art to that still.
It may be planned and like a work, but they still hurt themselves.
Yeah, no, stuntmen die. These guys could get seriously injured doing this shit, and they're doing it for entertainment. Yeah. It's
you bring that up. There's one in particular I'm thinking of, like a particular move that happened on a pay-per-view back in 1998. It was between Kevin Nash and Paul White, or the Big Show. Kevin Nash went to pick him up and powerbomb him. Because before it, Show was like saying, "Yeah, dude, do it to me. I'll be fine." And Kevin's thinking, like, "You're 500 pounds, man. Like, you sure? Because I don't think I could pick you up." Mm-hmm. "No, it'll be fine." So the match goes, they go to do it. Kev kind of gets him up most of the way. Doesn't lift him up here like he has, so he's still leaning down like this. He drops him, and it looks like he lands right on his neck. It's scary. It's scary to watch.
Hearing it described, I just shiver. Oh my God.
It's terrifying to watch. Now, on the Peacock version, you very clearly hear a very audible from Kevin, "I am so sorry," as he's going to cover for the pin.
Oh, really?
Like a very audible, "I am so sorry." But I mean, years have passed since that, and they were cool the next night.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've heard Kevin talk about it, how he like came up to him and he sees him in a brace. He's like, "Oh my God, man, I'm so sorry. Dude, it's fine. I'm okay. I don't even need this. I'm just wearing this to make them happy. I'm good."
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
Man.
But yeah, even describing it, I just thought about it, and watching it was bad.
But yes, seeing I'm brain farting now. But yeah, like John Cena, I feel like he's really flowed into the acting thing. I guess he's not getting a whole lot of leading roles, but he works so well. Like, I love him here. He was also in that Bumblebee movie. Not great acting there, but it worked. It fucking worked.
And sometimes if he's doing the stern, serious guy in a comedy movie, it really works well.
Oh shit! What was that movie? The Tina Fey. Was it Amy Poehler with her? Was it Sisters?
It was. I think it was either Sisters. There was a few they did together. There was Sisters and the one where Amy Poehler played the surrogate mom to Tina Fey.
I don't think that's it. But I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this. He was in it. And he was flirting with Tina Fey, I want to say, but they were saying the most fucked up shit to each other as the flirtation. I believe one of the things was she walks up to him and says, "My safe word is keep going," or something fucked up like that. "My safe word is harder." It's like, holy shit.
Jesus, Tina. All right.
Okay. But yeah, he works in the comedy stuff. Bumblebee's more in the comedy vein, obviously not in the same vein as Sisters, but he works there. There's very much a comedy aspect to his character here, though. But he's able to jump between the two, between being actually menacing and a threat, and being kind of comedic, almost seamlessly here. I would say seamlessly, not almost.
Yeah.
But
all right, where were we with Suicide Squad 21?
Oh, well, we were talking about John Cena. We were talking about Peacemaker.
Man.
Yeah, we were talking about my favorite character, who is, of course, let's see if I can find him here. My favorite character is Milton. Milton is really deep. He adds a lot of depth to the story. Okay, actually, what? What? He's been with us the whole time.
I don't recall Milton.
No, probably my favorite character is this guy right here.
Yeah. Holy crap, what a great character development.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's just this miserable, sad, pathetic guy, and
who will be your favorite character.
Yeah. He works so well. Like, you have this core cast, and he is just, he has his issues. He doesn't like killing, except if he visualizes the person as his mother. Oh my god, Sigmund Freud would have fun with this guy. Holy shit.
Oh this guy. Yeah, just like, and it's the actor himself, too. He was able to convey just so much torment and suffering with his like delivery and his when he was talking and disclosing about how every monster I see is my mother and I just try to kill them.
Yeah,
like, all of it, you get such a connection to this guy, to him and his torture, and like just his life, and just And then after he has his big moments,
yes, he does the foolish mistake of completing his arc in the final battle.
Yeah,
that's a rookie mistake. You need to complete it after the final battle.
Yeah.
We aren't there yet, but he doesn't last long after that. But he does get a full arc.
Yeah, he does.
But
and Ratcatcher 2 is I think the next one we need to talk about.
Oh yes,
I really like that character.
Yeah,
I kind of felt we could have dove into her a little bit more.
Well, it's kind of crazy. I'm watching all these flashbacks, and I didn't realize until the very end that her dad, the Ratcatcher one, was Taika Waititi. It's like, how did I miss that? He was right there. When I rewatched it, I saw it was clearly him.
It took me 3 watches to realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it till the very end. And you see the flashbacks clearly in that bus panel, and there is his face right fucking there, and I'm just missing it. And
I did like the scene with her and her father where she's like asking him, like, Dad, why rats? That was a nice, very touch. And it's like that sort of stuff like that is what I feel like makes these comic book movies more. Like they show the humanity in people and in these metahumans and superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that is relatable to us as the audience. And it just makes it gives it that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yes.
Which, makes it an enjoyable experience. And that's what I felt that 2016's was missing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
It's missing the humanity in the characters.
Almost every single character in this, even the ones that die, are better than most of the characters in 2016. With the exception of maybe Deadshot, Harley, and El Diablo.
Yeah.
And I would even include that with Rick Flag. Rick Flag, obviously, they're going after Project Starfish. We're jumping ahead. We have the core team going after Project Starfish. They have to first save Rick Flag, and they do this great bit where Amanda Waller says, okay, he's been captured. You have to kill those people and get Rick Flag. So they massacre this little group of people, like at least 10 to 15 people. They just massacre them. They do them somewhat silently. They even, Peacemaker and fucking Bloodsport have a game where they're like, I killed him violently. Well, I'm going to kill him violently. And it turns out Rick Flag has already talked to these people and they're helping him out. And it's like, oh my god. But that also shows how this movie gets the character of Amanda Waller, because she doesn't give a shit. It's like the last movie was like hedging on that, but didn't want to go all the way. This movie's like, no, Amanda Waller's a cold-blooded fucking bitch that doesn't give a shit.
No, that I felt like she was definitely like more callow in this one, or not callow, but just more cold.
And what's crazy is in this movie, she's not even the one responsible for the chaos. She's just covering up shit. In the last movie, she was actually fucking responsible, and it's like they let it go. Here, she's not responsible, and she's doing the dark shit without question.
Yeah.
It's like this movie gets her character so much better. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. All right, Bloodsport was largely oh, yes, they did not going back on how they didn't research how Weasel can't swim, they also didn't research that Bloodsport has a deathly afraid of rats, which is Ratcatcher's ability.
Yep. That was actually really funny to watch Idris Elba just be terrified of rats.
He gets to be complete badass throughout this whole movie. Then anytime a rat pops up, especially the main rat, Sebastian, who has a little backpack that hangs out with Ratcatcher all the time, who takes a liking to him, every time that rat's around, he's terrified.
Yes. Ratcatcher is the greatest, Sebastian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Greatest mouse of all time.
Sebastian was great.
Move over, Fievel.
But let's see. They massacre this village. Wow, what do they do after that?
They conquer the Tinkerer.
That's right. They do get. We get the 12th Doctor in. The Tinkerer. Pierre Cabaldi does a great job. He does.
He's really great.
He's an evil megamaniacal. God, I love it when words trip me up, especially during a podcast. He's the evil scientist type. And now that word's gonna drive me nuts. But he just does it the typical way, and it fucking works. I dig it.
He's a little bit crazy, a little bit extra, a little bit loose and wild, and it was great. He was playing he was playing the doc. He was kind of giving his own unhinged doctor a little bit.
Yes. I never thought about that. Yeah, this is a crazy doctor. Ooh, I can't. There it is. But yes, he gets to do the crazy doctor. He is the one manipulating this whole. He's manipulating Starro and doing experiments on him.
Yep.
Yeah, the picture, even he's surrounded by Starros. I also thought it was dark when we revealed his lab, and we find out that, I don't think this is the way it was in the comic book, but, the starfish sticks its thing on your face, and then it, eats away at your face, so it's just, your skull there to take over. It's holy shit.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this is a hard R, unlike the last Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, yeah, this is a hard R.
No, yeah.
It's kind of like when you told me you were going to review Porky's and watch it, and I told you that's a hard R, just a heads up.
Nah. I mean, it doesn't really disturb me, but it's interesting to look at. And
what an R was in 1980?
Oh, well, yeah, it varies. You can't even tell anymore. The ratings almost don't mean anything. Green Knight was a R, and
really?
Yeah, you cut out a couple of seconds from it, it had to become PG-13 almost instantly.
I can only imagine it's like that for maybe some scenes of nudity and violence.
Not even really violence. There's not much violence in it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, there is kind of nudity. You get naked giant breast.
Okay.
It's okay. It's also super stylized, so it's not.
Oh.
Not oh boy, look at those boobies. Yeah.
Just a tasteful framed picture.
Yeah, it's that and implied, but obviously not implicit sex. That's about it.
Okay.
It's yeah. But this is not that. This is super violent.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the lab scene, that's when we get to the scene where you suddenly realize Rick realizes the U.S. government is there. They're going to hide that the U.S. government was involved, and he's going to steal the information and release it to the press. And Peacemaker says, "No, that's not my job. My job is to keep the peace." And that's that's suddenly the moment when I realized, oh my God, Rick Flag's gonna die, and I really don't want him to die now.
I don't want him to die either.
It's
I was just oh, heel turn.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, Rick's gonna die.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, and in the first movie, if he had died in that final battle, I don't think I would have blinked. But here, I'm fuck, don't kill Rick.
Don't. Fuck you, John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's when it's firmly, you enjoy the John Cena character, but throughout the movie, he's not a good guy. And this is when it's firmly established, he's not a good guy at all. So,
no.
Yeah, obviously.
He's far from it.
he gets the murder on Rick Flag, and that is sad. And he almost kills Ratcatcher too before Bloodsport pancakes down there and shoots him with a smaller bullet, which was foreshadowed by Peacemaker earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, your bullet's small. It's small because it goes farther and faster.
Yeah, well, I love how John Cena's like, well, Bloodsport's like, I'm going to hit it perfectly in the center. And then he's like, I'm going to hit it more in the center with a smaller bullet. And then it's revealed at the end, nope, Bloodsport's the one with the smaller bullet. Sorry.
Sorry, Cena.
But, yes. Yeah, it seems like Peacemaker's kind of the main villain for a little bit. And then you get Starro, who just destroys fucking everything.
Ooh,
I love
it. Giant fucking starfish with an eye.
Yeah, I love that they call him a kaiju.
Yeah, I kind of love that. The tech in Waller's lab is like, we got a fucking kaiju situation here. Because I think, wow, that's exactly how I would have reacted in that scenario.
Almost similar to the bar scene, although I would argue this is better done. How Waller orders the heroes, okay, we got the information, come home. This is no longer our problem. And of course, they decide, no, we're going to fight Starro. And Waller's like, I'm going to blow you guys up. And that's when the lab techs get their hero moment. They stop Waller and they help him out, which...
And they just give them tech support. Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Even the minor characters in this get a little bit to shine. It's kind of great, kind of.
It really was. And really quickly, since we're on Starro, I wanted to talk about this. I really enjoyed the color scheme in this whole movie.
Yes.
I don't want to say they were muted almost, but they were very bright and vibrant, but toned down at the same time, so it wasn't overwhelming. And I didn't notice an overall brightness in colors until the introduction of Starro, because his colors are very bright, but it still had this very gray feel to the whole film. Well, even more during this battle.
Especially watching this in 2016 back-to-back. 2016 is just so dark and dreary, and it's clearly desperately trying to cling to that Zack Snyder aesthetic, which is like, be your own thing. David Ayer, you're not Zack Snyder, be your own thing. Of course, it might have been a studio mandate.
I think it
probably was.
Because, the studio meddling is just so fucking apparent.
Yeah. Well, it drives me nuts, because it's like... I lost my train of thought. They were going, it's clear, they're going for a darker aesthetic, then they get the lighter trailers. So all of a sudden they're trying to up the color scheme, and you can tell as the trailers go on, they get lighter and lighter, and it's like, oh my god, you clearly wanted it to be dark, and now you're changing it all in post. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And I mean, this movie did something similar, but the brightness, you notice it more and more and more. Like the scene where Harley's escaping, and flower petals replace blood.
Oh yes, we didn't even talk about that whole Harley side quest going on.
Yeah, visually beautiful.
I also love how that scene really shows how Harley's developed in this trilogy of movies she's done. Because she hooks up with the guy who's the leader of the country, and she's like, okay. He tells her, his whole villainous plan, and he's like, not even, I'll kill children and women and whoever gets in my way. And she just instantly fucking shoots him down. And she's like, I made a deal with myself. If I see anybody with red flags, I'm going to have to kill him immediately, because I know my taste in men is awful. And I know if I run away, you're just going to chase me down. So I'm just going to kill you and hedge my losses. It's like, okay. I got you. It's I love how they've developed Harley, not really in the original Suicide Squad, but since then.
They did. And they did a lot of fine work in Birds of Prey developing her as a character. I really feel like giving her a solo outing was the better route. I still will stand by this to this day. Same with Justice League. If they're going to be doing the group superhero films, Marvel has the tried and true method of individual introductions of films. Mm-hmm. They give them their own, and if they start them off and make them an established character before you introduce them as a collective unit, it can work better because they'll be hardcore fans of each of them. Let's think back to when the Avengers came out, okay?
Okay.
There were different camps all over. People who were like hardcore Iron Man, Team Thor, and this was even before Civil War. Like ones who were just like champions for each of them. And the idea with it was for all those people to come together and watch them, because I'll admit the first run of all of it through phase 1, I might have skipped out on the Thor movies.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, Thor one's
out on Iron Man 2.
Okay-ish. Okay.
Well, no, the third Iron Man I skipped out on.
I like third Iron Man. Everybody bashed that one. I like it.
It was good.
It's a Shane Black movie for sure, but I like Shane Black. So.
Yeah. I felt that, it was just like all the leftover ideas from 1 and 2.
Maybe. With some Shane Black sprinkled in.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that.
They're both. It's still better than Dark World.
Dark World. Oh yeah. Well, Dark World. I believe. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I go back to one of my own quotes from one of my videos where I talk about Endgame. They time travel back to the highlights of the MCU and Thor: The Dark World. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
they travel back to that one, but who cares?
Well, we're just gonna just glaze over that one.
Yeah. They did give in that movie Endgame they gave Renee Russo. They finally gave her a bit more, and it's like, yay, okay. She didn't get much in her Thor movie, so that's something.
No, they didn't. And actually, I am now just realizing that was Renee Russo.
Yeah. It took me a second to come up with it. She's a famous actress, man.
I know. She was in 2 out of the 4 Lethal Weapon movies.
Was it just? Yeah, it was just the last 2. But yes. Yeah. She's all over the place, though. But yeah.
No, she doesn't have as many as Pesci. Pesci has 3.
Yeah, Pesci has 3. Yeah, they always had a new character. At least one new character in every Lethal Weapon that carried on throughout.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they'd done a Lethal Weapon 5, Chris Rock would have been on board.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've heard rumor of it for like years.
Well, I'm sure I don't know for sure it's dead, but the original rumor was they're going to move forward. Last I heard, and Richard Donner was still going to direct, and then, of course, Richard Donner passed. So
yeah,
I'm going to assume it's dead.
I've also heard Danny and Mel both say that they would do it, but they would only do it with Richard.
Yeah, and I get that. I would only really be interested with Richard Donner, even though I always felt those Lethal Weapon movies were diminishing returns every step of the way. But if they're all honestly gonna come together and do a 5th one, fuck it, I'll watch it. But yes, where are we on? We're talking about the Suicide Squad. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, we were. I was frozen for a moment.
Okay, we're on. But yeah, so they defeat Starro with a whole bunch of rats. Something that would have been useful throughout the movie, but I kind of let go because it was just so much fucking fun.
Yeah, that was just so great. Just the swarm of them everywhere.
Yes. I don't think we brought up in the podcast. I know we discussed it beforehand, but this feels like a mixture of James Gunn's. Like, this is what his Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with his former Trauma days. This is like the perfect mix of those. It's like bloody and gory, but it's superheroes and it's got a heart. It's kind of great.
Yeah. It's just kind of everything awesome.
Yes. I would have to rewatch movies. I don't know if it's my favorite James Gunn movie. I know, like, if I were ranking it in the MCU, even though it's not an MCU movie, if I were ranking it in the MCU, it'd be pretty fucking high up there. It's obviously super high up there, DCEU, which is remotely as competitive.
Well, I mean, if you would consider all the new gen movies DCU?
Well, DCEU...
Man of Steel on.
Well, not all of them. Joker's not part of DCEU. But most of Man of Steel on DC properties are. I'm not gonna lie, the DCEU's a fucking shit
we can't
show.
Include those first 2. It's a shame we can't include those first 2 Superman. It's a shame we can't.
Yeah, the DC.
I'm okay with leaving out Quest for Peace.
Well, yeah, especially with this movie, I feel the DCEU is just kind of a shit show, and this movie, it doesn't really follow anything from the previous canon, and I think it's all the better for it. This is literally just James Gunn doing the Suicide Squad movie he wants to make, and it shines through so well.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like, it's James Gunn at his most gunniest. Like, it's
James.
It's
Gunniest.
so beautiful. Yeah, like it's just. Oh God, I was just so happy and just so impressed. I love this. Like, this is like an A triple plus. Like,
yes, it's best
holy
superhero
God,
movies for a while. I'm trying to think, maybe Infinity War. I'm trying to think, what was the other?
Like the last superhero movie that got me this hype.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm trying to remember what was last.
Probably Homecoming.
Yeah. Infinity War was great. Was Into the Spider-Verse after Infinity War or before it?
I want to say it was after. It was before or after what?
Infinity War. I don't remember. They're around the same time. Those were the last.
I think it was after Infinity War.
Okay, but yeah, those are just to give you an idea. Like, I love those movies, and those were the last movies I would say even come close to something like this.
Spider-Verse was just, oh my God, so good.
Oh, they're so artistic. I loved it.
I loved it, yeah. And that we actually had our chance to, one of the many chances we've had since then, since the fabled Burton Superman, is to hear Nick Cage as a superhero. We got to hear him as like a noir Spidey, which I thought was just so fucking great.
Well, he did get to play Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
He did.
But
and I watched it solely just for that.
Any final thoughts on Suicide Squad?
Oh man, just perfect. I've just really fucking loved this movie.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. It feels good to have DC putting out quality film products.
Oh yes. This is
on par with Marvel.
Yeah, if they want this is the secret DCEU needs to figure out. Kind of not necessarily let their filmmakers do whatever, but know when to control them and when not to. Like, I feel like Kevin Feige has a good grasp of this. And they need somebody like that at DCEU. Because this is James Gunn just doing his thing, and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
And if they followed more of a formula like this, I feel like DCEU would be in a much better place.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know that I have been saying this for the longest time, and this was really a lot after Superman v Batman, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, and the Justice League film. After those, I just was so disappointed with everything DC. And I just kind of found myself questioning, how the hell can DC put out better animated movies than live action?
Oh, yeah. Well, they have classics animated movies.
Shit at that time. Their live action, fucking great. Their animation, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that. Because I think they tried to make them too directed towards children. When a lot of and yes, comic books are essentially for kids. Yes. But the storylines, as a lot of them developed and like carried on over time, they started dealing with a lot more heavier subject matter, like death, addiction, murder, just all sorts of, and a lot of like serious emotional trauma and physical trauma. So it's hard to put those in a kid's cartoon. I mean, it was done tastefully in '97, but without getting into like the new nitty and the gritty with the animated series of Batman. But again, that's DC.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that kind of drove me nuts. Like the Marvel, where the animated division's suffering, but the live action is doing well. That makes sense because it tells me they're putting all their cookies into live action stuff, which makes sense. I get that. That's the big money stuff. That's the stuff everybody talks about, everybody wants to go see. And DC was like, it felt like they were doing the opposite. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I get you got talented animated guys, leave them there. But you don't have any talented guys for the live action shit? Are you seriously telling me that? Are you...
Like, you can't get the guys who write for the animated to see, hey, can you get a feature length?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you had mentioned Flashpoint by mistake earlier, but I want to bring that up because that movie was my introduction to the DC animated film verse.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Holy crap, that was great.
Yeah.
And the next one I watched was the Battle of Atlantis, where the Atlanteans and Wonder Woman and her people, they were waging war.
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
I might be confusing a plot point of Flashpoint. But I remember there was a bunch of them that I'd watched for a while. There was like a bunch of those on Netflix, so I just kind of binged them all when they were on there. I know there was a really great Superman one. I think it was like it kind of dealt with the Doomsday almost, like
I'm trying to remember.
The Superman almost.
I know the Superman one I really remember loving was Superman versus the Elites. Because that one's worth checking out. That was it's like there's this new edgier group of superheroes. But the thing is, though, they're out, like, killing people, and it's quickly becoming apparent that they aren't, like, edgy heroes. They're just, fucking doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And how Superman handles them is kind of brilliant. It's totally worth watching.
Okay.
There's the one where Superman is dying. I don't remember that. But yeah, there's some great standalone animated DC movies. The live-action ones don't reflect it at all. Although...
Yeah, DC has always been on point with their animated, even like when you and I were much younger, and they had the Superman series, the Batman animated series, as well as the Justice League. I know at this time they also had all the Justice League on Netflix too, and I watched that entire series and all of Justice League Unlimited. Whew. Great story, great stories, and I just don't know what it is. Just they could really write a great story and, just still have like the great voice acting. Still, they had an amazing voice cast just to like convey it all just through the power of voice and storytelling as well as animation. And just DC's always on point with their animation.
Well, I'm going to reel this back to Suicide Squad 2016 really fast. Because there was actually a Suicide Squad animated movie in 2014. And if they had literally taken that script and adapted it to live action, it would have been better than Suicide Squad 2016. So my brain hurts when I think about things like that. It's like, you already have great fucking movies. Like, if you really want to be lazy with the script, you could just film the scripts you already fucking have and get fucking good movies.
It's kind of like it was the Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham, right?
Yes. It was actually Batman Assault on Arkham because nobody knew who Suicide Squad was at that time. But it's a Suicide Squad movie.
Okay. I mean, okay.
But yes. I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job. I'm miles away from that right now, so any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.